It's preparing.
Okay, I think we're on because I heard my sister say hi, so I think we're on now. Yep, okay, we're on.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome back to Daybreak Live, where we talk about all things reading and writing. Today is our favorite day of the month with our dear Sarah Samir, who comes to us from Chicago. She is our YA consultant. She brings us all the good news from the YA world and all of the amazing books. She has brought a guest with her today, who is her cousin Zahra Siddiqui. Zahra lives in California. She loves to read and she does some sports like playing tennis. Both of these lovely ladies spend lots of time with their families, and they like things like history and all of the historical novels, both nonfiction and fiction history. And they found that a particular book that they had read for the book club, right? Did you read it for the book club?
No, I don't believe we did it for the book club, but we read it together.
Okay, so here's a little bit more of the intro and bio. Sarah started a book club for her friends that and friends, and it's open, right? Or is it just only your friends?
No, it's open to everyone.
It's open to anyone. So it's young ladies from what ages do you?
Tweens 9 to 12.
Tweens 9 to 12. What's it called?
MGRC, Muslim Girls Reading Club.
MGRC, the Muslim Girls Reading Club.
We have an Instagram page called MGRC Tweens.
Okay, let us. Oh my gosh, you guys, you're so amazing. Instagram, I'm going to put it on the chat. I don't know how many of the, if the audience will be able to see it, but it's MGRC.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the handle on Instagram?
Sorry?
Sorry, what's it called on Instagram? It's called MGRC
Tweens.
MGRC Tweens. Great. All right, so if you're interested, MGRC Tweens, all one word, for their Instagram account. You can join the book club too. But they were discussing this book among themselves, Sarah and Zahra, who, by the way, are not just cousins, but also best friends. And they were talking about this book, and they said, you know what? It's really important that we discuss this book together with all of the people on Daybreak Live. They have some really interesting takes from this book. So I'm going to turn it over to Sarah and Zahra now. And Sarah, if you'd like to go ahead and start, then I will just, it's your interview today. It's your interview today, and you guys just discuss. I'll just be here to pop in with my opinions every once in a while, just for fun.
Okay, so Barakah Beats looks like this, and it is by Najiyah Siddiqui. It is an award-winning book, and it's about a girl named Nimra Sharif, and she is a hijabi. She's completed hifz, and she has gone to public school for all of her life until 7th grade or 8th grade, don't remember. She's been in Islamic school, and then in 7th or 8th grade, she moves into public school. And so she moves into public school. So then she's with her lifelong friend who is she's with her friend who also goes to public school, and they're together, and she really wants to please her friend, whose name is Jenna. However, she's hijabi and she feels like an outcast in this school. There is a Muslim boy band of 8th grade boys, and they're really popular, and she decides that just to please Jenna, she will join that band. Now, she was always taught that music is not allowed in Islam for her family. Her family generally did not listen to music. So she knew that her parents would not approve joining a band, a boy band of 8th grade boys, and she's in 7th grade. So she joins secretly just to please Jenna, and she goes through struggles with friendship and faith and finding the courage to do things that truly make your heart sing. Okay, Zahra, want to share your thoughts on the book?
Yeah, it's a really unique book because yeah, like she said, the main character girl in a lot of Muslim books, it's really nice. She's actually hijabi, and her family is quite conservative, and yeah, it's really interesting actually, because I think most of the time you don't see someone from Islamic school going to public school. So this book kind of like shows us the changes and like the, what one might go through when they experience that transition, because it's really different, and it's a really different environment, especially when you're like the only Muslim in your class. And yeah, it offers a very unique insight on that point.
Yeah, for sure. And Nimra, yeah, she's a hafiza, and sorry, I lost my train of thought. She goes to yeah, so sorry, I remember now. So she has difficulty figuring out like who she wants to be friends with. And so she does this basically just to please Jenna. Mashallah, this book is really well written. Like just reading it is just from the point of view it's written, very well written, from like a 7th grade girl's point of view or a middle school girl's point of view. It's definitely something that middle school girls could relate to, the feelings that Nimra feels. However, there were a few points in the book that we felt like didn't make sense, or pieces that didn't exactly match together. Do you want to elaborate on that, Zahra?
Yeah, so like she said, it's generally a good read as a novel, but in terms of like Islam and the message, there were, as any book, there were a few points that didn't make sense, some holes. And I think one of them is that the fact that she wanted that it was a boy band who invited her, because they're showing that to like please Jenna, but the problem is that the book doesn't really like treat the fact, because there are a lot of scenes where like she gets kind of uncomfortable with them, or they get like a bit too close, like they're like she's in the room and they're like asking her, which is kind of awkward. But the book never really identifies those as problems. Rather, whenever the book is referring to her moments of guilt, oh, this is wrong, it's always talking about the music. It's not talking about the fact that it's a boy band. And I feel like it being a boy band, the way the author wrote it doesn't add any significance to the story, only confusion, because the author never puts Nimra is never thinking, regretting her decision about it being a boy band.
Completely agree. She feels a lot of remorse and regret for being in this, not for being in a band with older boys, but because for being in a band, but for playing the music, which is a valid point. But there are other factors that she didn't feel regret for, which didn't make sense, because she's such, mashallah, a practicing Muslim, an amazing thing. And this is how like it is being portrayed. Like that didn't exactly make sense to me.
Yeah. How did she struggle with the music? Was she a person who listened to music before without her parents' knowledge, or she just all of a sudden said, okay, I'm going to jump into this band?
That's another thing that didn't make sense, because in the beginning of the book and throughout the entire book, they showed her extremely into art. And if you look at the photo here, she has her sketchbook open, and they show she has her sketchbook open.
Oh
they
yeah.
show that she draws the band's logo, and she's extremely into art, like not as a side thing, but it like wants to get into art. She wants to get into art classes. She designs like the logos and flyers, and I think she also designed an album cover for Barakah Beats, which is the name of the band. And all of a sudden she made this big change to go into music, which she never actually had interest in. And it made such a big impact in her life because she started feeling so much regret and started going through so much because she was doing this because of the music situation when she didn't enjoy it. So if you really break it down, the only reason or drive that the author really clearly showed us that she joined this band for was to please Jenna. And that didn't make sense because they show that Jenna was her lifelong friend, and suddenly Jenna's not paying as much attention to her because she's hijabi. And so she just does that to please Jenna, even though she has no interest. But then she gets hooked onto it, obviously, because then they become her friends.
Yeah, I think what the book like did is that they connected her. So the reason the boy band invited her to join is because they heard her in her salah, they heard her reciting Quran, and from this they were like, oh, she has a really great voice, which again, if you think about it, doesn't really make sense. Like I think they said that, yeah, there was a lot of noise in the other room, and so she had to like sit kind of loud. But if you think about it, like it's a little awkward and not supernatural to connect like singing and stuff to qira'at because yeah, that part
And
just
so,
didn't really make
yeah.
sense, and the whole introduction to music just felt like a really big jump that didn't have enough justification.
Yeah, so that entire scene was probably one of the scenes that most stood out to us, right? Because so she goes into the room during lunch to pray namaz, and then the Muslim boy band comes in, and I don't know if they don't see her praying or what, but they start like blasting their music. And so she is very overwhelmed by that, obviously, because she's praying, and these people come in and start playing music, which again, that didn't exactly make sense, because like if they're Muslim, then they should acknowledge that, but maybe they didn't see her. So she started reading aloud. And in the book starts with her Amin because she became a hafiza. So then they're like, wow, you have an amazing voice. No, they corner her in the room and they don't let her leave, which was really weird. That was a really weird scene. She wants to go out the door and they block the door. So
it was really awkward because I think the author didn't feel like the author was intending to make it about that, but that's the way the author wrote their invitation to her. But it came out kind of weird because she was like, okay, I need to go. And then, one of the boys, he was like, wait a moment. And, it just seemed really weird. And I'm not sure if that was what the author intended, but like a whole other thing came out of that.
And and what was even weirder is that those boys are Muslim, right? So it's showing that like if they were at least not non-Muslim, then maybe they wouldn't have the same values of, not doing that. But it's a Muslim girl and Muslim guy, so they should know. And so this is how it was pretty much portrayed the entire book, that she was friends with them. And there were a lot of awkward situations like these that didn't make sense, didn't match up, and that me and Zahra felt like should have been clearer. If you don't have to make the book about that, but to at least acknowledge or fix that relationship between them and like the boundaries. So that was something that was really weird, and throughout the whole book was portrayed. And so we felt like this is in all, at least Illinois libraries now. They have stocked up on new copies because it's an award-winning book, which definitely, like, the wording and everything, it's just an amazingly written book. However, the part of the messaging was probably the only part we had a problem with, and it's something that perhaps non-Muslims could not understand, or perhaps some Muslims could not see through. But that is something that we noticed, that we felt like we would that stood out to us. Yeah.
And I think that, like, as I said earlier, yeah, there's a lot of other awkward scenes like that in the book, where one of the boys like shake her by the shoulders, or
Yeah.
hug her, and like other weird scenes. And the thing is that I think we thought that maybe that's a good problem for an author to address. However, the only thing is that it didn't look like that was the problem she was focusing, because never once was it written Nimra thought,
Negative.
like, oh, what would her parents think if they knew she was in a boy band. It was just focusing on the music, which I think is more controversial a topic than, like, this the other weird scenes, boys and girls kind of thing. So it just really didn't make sense on that note. But yeah, like she said, as a novel, it's a good book, but messaging, especially for non-Muslims, it's not like a very good insight into Islam.
What
In fact,
happened? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah, in fact, she even takes them to her house. She tells her parents that they're her friends, and her parents don't necessarily like disapprove of it. There's like one part where I think they give her like a glance. But otherwise it's like a normal thing to have them come into her house and go down in the basement and watch a movie. And like hang out in the basement watching the movie. So yeah, so it didn't really seem like a problem to the parents. What did seem like a problem to the parents when they found out was the music part.
What happened with her and Jenna? You said that it focused a lot on friendship. How did she, how did they work that out together, the friendship part?
Yeah, so Nimra started feeling like Jenna wasn't very accepting of her and was just using her to gain popularity points. Because she was friends with this band who were a big part of like they were pretty popular at her school. And so she started Jenna was still friends with her, and Jenna really included her, but she didn't feel right in the group. And she felt like things were kind of going back and forth, and she felt weird that, okay, she felt really good that, oh, like I got Jenna back, she's like hanging out with me more now, but she kept making excuses for not coming over to her house or something. And in fact, Jenna even told her the first day of school they were walking together because they're neighbors. And she was like, oh, you forgot your scarf. And she's like, what do you mean? It's right here. And Jenna was like, no, you forgot to take it off. So those kind of things Jenna said, and it focused really on building confidence, wearing hijab in school, which I thought was really cool because we don't always see hijabi characters. We do sometimes, but I know some of the very popular Muslim books don't feature hijabi characters, which is fine, but it's just nice to see those characters, and see that insight.
Yeah.
So yeah, she kind of was trying to like figure her way out on how she can still be friends. So in the end, she actually ends up quitting the boy band. And because she feels like, so she says that she feels like, so she does a last show with them at a talent show, at a masjid talent show actually, and she does that show with them. And but at the end she decides, like, she tells them she's not going to do it, and right before the talent show concert, which they had been planning for weeks, and she tells them that they're not going to do it. So that becomes a big deal for them, and they don't really talk ever. Then she goes and apologizes because because it really upset them that we were relying on you so much for this singing part in the talent show, but now you just you just leave. And so she talked with her parents. She spoke the truth because it built up so much anxiety within her, that she was lying to her parents and doing this just for Jenna. So, and she ends up doing the last show with them after talking with her parents. And then she stops. And so I guess it's kind of a lesson on her embracing her faith and making her decision based on what she believes, which was music.
Yeah. So go ahead, Zahra.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna add, like, another thing that was, a bit of objectionable is that, like, when she was quitting, she said it in like a very shouty kind of way, and she even told them to their face, these are boys who, like, have been doing music all their lives because it's a big part of it. It's what they like. And so then she kind of like lashes out at them and tells them music is like prohibited in Islam. It's not okay to do that. It's not allowed. And later she does like apologize to them. But I think this, like, the emphasis on music is this, because it's so controversial. And
Yeah.
and also
And that's the last word on it.
And yeah, the for the boys, they play music and they don't do it in secret. Their families approve of them playing music, and so it's called Barakah beats because in the songs, are incorporated like they had a song called Medina, I think. Yeah, so like they did kind of like versions of Islamic versions of songs and stuff, kind of. It wasn't just like regular songs. It did have some Islamic lyrics in them, but even then Nimra felt guilty about doing it, so she ended up quitting. Yeah.
So when she tells them this is haram, is that the last that anybody talks about the controversy of music, or is it haram or anything like that?
It's not. She says that, but then she really like lashes out at them. And later she had all that stress built up in her, I guess. But then later she goes and apologizes and says it in a more like thing way that I guess like I think she said like it's okay, like she kind of said that, yeah, I don't want to do this, right? Because
Gotcha.
it was not right for her to say that to the other people, like they can practice how they want to practice. So then later she kind of realized, but throughout the entire beginning of the book, for someone who's like starting off at the beginning, the image you get is that it's completely wrong. Now later in the book, at the end, they somewhat smooth some of the things out, for sure. But the overall image that you get, I guess, especially from a non-Muslim's perspective, is that, like Muslims can't listen to music, like, and of course this
they can hang out in the basement with their friends' boys.
Yeah, so exactly. So it was like, if you're gonna show an extremely practicing Muslim, a hafiza, a hijabi, mashallah, who keeps her hijab on, who prays, who like they show her praying, such a practicing Muslim, which is like a unique character to see in books, but then doing that, like, it's like, what exactly image of Islam are you trying to get across?
Yeah.
And what point are you get across? So that was like, those were some pieces that didn't exactly fall together.
Nice.
And I think, go ahead.
No, please go ahead, Zahra.
Okay, I was gonna say that I think Sarah mentioned that, like, I mean, I'm not sure if this is still true, but that it's now like in most schools, it's gonna be a book that in the curriculum. I don't know if that's still true.
It's not in the curriculum actually, but it is. I think it won an award that I believe is just for Illinois or for Wisconsin as well, and Michigan. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look into that, but it is like in all the libraries I have went to like recently, it has been restocked, and so it is going to be it's gained a lot of popularity recently, which is great.
Yeah.
It I mean, nothing is wrong with the book itself. It's just the messaging that we found wrong. So from a non-Muslim's perspective, who's not looking at the messaging but just looking at the book itself, yeah, I mean, I would say it deserves a reward. And librarians are always recommending it to me because like when I go to check out this book, they're like, oh yeah, that's my favorite book. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And so it is stocked up in libraries right now if you live in Illinois.
Yeah. What a treat to hear you guys have this in-depth conversation about this book, subhanAllah. It's such a balm to our soul, those of us who are older, to know that young people are reading, first of all, and reading so intensely and critically and thoughtfully, and and that you're able to be balanced and say that there are these things about the book that were good and there are these things about the book that we had issues with. This is the next generation of people who will be the ones writing books, who will be the ones critiquing books, who will be the ones in the libraries as the librarians, in the front of the classroom as the teachers. We so appreciate you coming. What else are you reading for your book club? What's coming up?
So right now we have paused because we're trying to get more people to come in. Right now, currently we're not very active because there are not many people in the book club that are active right now, actually. So right now, like I'm trying to give out like brochures and stuff. Try to get more people so that we can get more people at the book chats. Because like it started off good. We started off getting people, but then I guess people were busy, so we need more people.
Okay. Okay, so it's MGBC, Muslim Girls
MGRC.
MG Reading Club, RCTWEENS on Instagram, and they can join from there.
Yeah, they can contact my mom who runs the Instagram page, and
Okay.
they can message her, and so
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just sharing my screen because it's the easiest way I know to let everybody see MGRC Tweens on Instagram. Look them up. And if you're the same age as the girls, kind of middle school age girls, check them out.
9 to 12, so 4th grade to 7th grade.
Okay,
Much.
4th grade to 7th grade?
Yeah, if you're a little older, you can come, or a little younger, you can come too. It's okay.
Okay. Let's put general guidelines.
We do read mostly middle grade novels though, so around that age, you know.
Okay, let's put it like this. Middle grade novels. Beautiful. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. And did you think I was going to let you go without Stop the Presses?
No, we can't.
We could never. Did you tell Zahra about Stop the Presses?
I'm not sure, did I? Okay, so I'll tell you anyway. Stop the Press is a time where we step back from the literary stuff and we get to know the people on our interview.
Yes, exactly. So did you prepare some questions, Sarah, or you want me to ask questions?
You can ask questions. I have a few. I'll just have to pull them up.
Okay. All right. What we'll do is we'll do 3 each. First, Sarah, question for you. What is the weirdest thing that you have on your nightstand next to your bed? Weirdest thing that you keep there?
Well, I have tissues. Oh, well, my sister's doll. I don't know why. That's just been on there for like a month.
Okay.
I think so. Like, I think she
left it there
in the room, and someone put it on my nightstand, but I don't know why. I just like it there, so it's just been there.
I love it. Okay, are you ready, Zahra, for your first question?
Of course.
Okay, so your first question is, what job would you be terrible at?
That's a very good question. I don't think I would be very good at maybe a person who goes to press and like asks people things and records them and remembers them.
Ah,
Because
okay.
yeah.
Good one. Okay, Sarah. What thing, it doesn't have to be a book, or it can be a book, a movie, a food, something that you went and saw or did, or something that you love. Give us a thing that you would rate 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
There's so many things. Harry Potter.
Yay, Harry Potter! I concur. All right, Zahra. Are you usually early or late?
Late.
You're a late type of person. Do you know your MBTI? Do you know?
No, I don't. My friend sent me like the thing, but I didn't actually do it. I don't know actually.
Okay, it'd be so fascinating to know. Like, I'm an ENFP and I am also very often late. I struggle so much with being late. Sarah, do you know yours?
My question?
I know your MBTI.
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay. All right. The next one is for Sarah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Name something that you hope never changes.
My so okay, I guess like me and my family watched a show. It's called Article, and unfortunately we are ending the season and it's heartbreaking. So hopefully like we restart the show and we continue that tradition.
You watched all of Article.
Almost. My brother has, and me and my mom are still working on it. We're almost done though. So
For those of you who don't know, Article has how many seasons?
5 with like 100 episodes. Each episode's like 40 minutes. We've been watching it for 2 years.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and if you finish Article, that's like you deserve a medal. I haven't watched it because everybody says it's sad.
It is sad, but it's less sad than it is to end like the show.
Yeah. All right, Zahra, your next question this is question number 2 for you, right?
Yes, that's not 3.
This is number 3? Okay.
Yes.
What takes up way too much of your time?
There's a lot of things. That's a very good question. I think generally schoolwork takes up a lot of my time, especially on weekdays. Actually, then again, though, this year I have gotten into like a lot less homework, but you know, I think that's something everybody can relate to. Yeah.
Indeed. All right, ladies. Bless you so much. Thank you for bringing your thoughtful critique and thoughtful thoughts about Barakah Beats by Malika Siddiqui. And, Maliha, right?
Yeah.
Maliha Siddiqui. And we look forward to your next book. Sarah, do you have a next book for us?
Oh, I do not. For some reason, I thought this was our last book.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. So we'll talk about it off camera, you guys. Look about it off camera. We have to, just personal, private things for us. All right. And the rest of you, thank you so much for joining Sarah and Zahra today to talk about Barakah Beats. Take care and keep on reading. Assalamu alaikum.